What's up guys, it's Victoria from Under Victoria's Spell, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about the books that I read in the month of April. It was a really rough reading month for me again, but I did get through some that were really good, so I'm excited to talk about those books that I have finished in the month of April. So let's hop to it. Okay, so let's talk some book statistics. So like I said, this was a really hard month for me just because work's been crazy. I started a new small business and that's taken up a lot of my time, and I've done well so far and I love that, but it's really affected my reading because I'm so tired from work and my small business. And, you know, just taking care of my fiance and my dog and myself. So my reading has definitely been affected, and it really breaks my heart because reading is like my passion, my self-care. So it makes me really sad. So the month of May, I'm really trying to be hopeful that I can pick up my reading and find some really good books. So I've just been feeling so slumpy and so tired. But let's get to the statistics. There's a total of 5 books that I'm going to be talking about. I have 1 DNF. I had 1 book that I did not rate because it was a novella, or it was like 55 pages, so I didn't rate that. And I had 2 4-star reads. So those are the statistics. I am at 37 books out of 100, and it says on my Goodreads challenge I'm 5 books ahead of schedule, but I need on average to be reading 8 to 9 books a month, and I definitely did not hit that this month, so that makes me really sad. But I'm hoping that in May I can kick it in high gear and read a ton of books. But yeah, let's go ahead and talk about the books that I read in the month of April. So the first book that I finished in the month of April was Still King by Devney Perry. I'm really working my way through Devney Perry's backlist, and I really wanted to pick this one up because it's like an ex-motorcycle gang thriller-esque romantic suspense romance series. So I was really excited to pick this one up. I finished this one and I gave it 4 stars. I really enjoyed it. It was very different than I expected because I was like ready to go into it and it gave me like Sons of Anarchy vibes, and it definitely didn't, but like in a good way. I really loved our heroine because she is this writer over this newspaper, and she will do anything to get the story because that's just her passion. She loves to write. She wants to uncover secrets. And then we have our hero who is the ex-president of this club, and he is definitely trying to bury all of these things that they have done because they are starting a new life away from this motorcycle club, and he owns a body shop. So already very different. You have someone who wants to tell stories and someone who wants to hide secrets, and what kind of pushes them together is his father is framed for murder. So we still don't know by the end of book 1 what is going on, but it was so good. I loved the thriller aspect. I loved the banter between the 2 characters. Their chemistry was just off the charts. I really enjoyed how they pushed and pulled each other, but in such good ways. Really loved the introduction to this one. I'm excited to read book 2. It follows a different couple, but I can't wait to get to that one. I love Devney Perry. She does small towns so well, and I'm just here for the ex-motorcycle club. So Still King was a great one, 4 stars. And the next book that I'm going to be talking about is Highest Bidder by Sarah Kay. I finished this. This is her 5th installment in the Salacious Players Club series. So I'm just so excited to almost wrap up this beautiful story for these characters. And this was following the famous Mr. Cade, right? Is it Cade? I forget his name now. That's really bad. And our heroine, and it's like a 20-30 year age difference. And oh my gosh, I was like, this is like really taboo. For myself who loves age gaps, I've never read this big of an age gap. So I was very nervous going into it to see how I was going to feel with this huge age gap, whether I was going to be able to believe this story. And let me just tell you, it was really good. It was a lot more emotional than I was expecting. I ended up giving this book 4 stars, and I really enjoyed the emotional depth that came from it. They both have traumas from different things in their lives, and it really shows that age is just a number, and that you can connect with people from many walks of life. And I really just felt their chemistry and their passion, and I just thought that their love story was so romantic and deep. And to me, this did not feel like a sex club book. This felt like 2 broken people coming together and finding their happy ending. I really enjoyed this story. I really liked that it was forced proximity. I loved the age gap, and there is a twist at the end, and I really did enjoy it. It was really, really good. The only reason I didn't give it 5 stars is the 3rd act breakup. I'm very picky about 3rd act breakups, and I really think this one could have been handled differently because it's the miscommunication thing, and I hate miscommunication. So if that would have just been done a little bit differently, I think that that would have definitely bumped up my rating. But I'm so excited to have one more book in the Salacious world and just see it all come together and see everyone get their happy ending. So I cannot wait. That book was 4 stars. So good. And the next book that I'm going to talk about is my DNF. And I started listening to this on audio, and it was Desperate Measures by Katie Roberts. I had actually got this entire series recommendation from Ava, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like retellings. Love it. Well, this was a mess for me. I'm still going to try and read some other books within that series that she has, but this one was just like, what the hell is going on? I just was not for it. This follows our heroine as she's pretty much given over to her dad's bodyguard, someone that works for her dad, and it's just a constant battle of power between these two. I mean, just right from the beginning, I was just like annoyed by these characters, and I just didn't get their chemistry. I mean, I did get their chemistry, but I just couldn't convince myself to care enough to continue to find out about their story. This is supposed to be a dark romance, a retelling of Jafar and Jasmine. And let me just say, I was not a fan. I think I DNF'd at like 25%. I just could not get into it. I was like, maybe I'm just not in my dark romance. Maybe I can pick it up later. But I was just highly annoyed by these characters. It was graphic, violent, which is normally fine. I just was not here for it. So that was my DNF for the month. Next, I'm going to talk about the book that I did no rating on, and I'll put it up here. It's by Devney Perry. It's like a legacy story. I think that's what it's called. And she did this in like December, but she just released it on Kindle, and it's how Harrison and Anne met from the Edens. If you've read that series, it's the parents, their love story, and it was super quick. Like I said, it was only like 50 something pages, but it was so cute. It was set in the 80s, I believe, and I just thought it was like so cozy. It brought me back to that world. It was so cute to see their love story, even though it was just a small snippet, but it was still really cute. I loved just seeing how it ended and where they are in the future, that you see their kids and who they end up with. And it was just really, really sweet. It was very like a nostalgic read for me because Harrison and Anne are so beloved in the Eden series anyway. So to see just a small piece of their story was just like a warm hug. I absolutely loved it. Didn't rate it. Like I said, I didn't feel like it was necessary to rate it because that's really hard to do. And it was only, it was less than 100 pages. So, But yeah, that one was really good. I highly suggest reading the Eden series and then going back and read that one because it really is just so good. And the last book that I'm going to talk about is actually my buddy read that I did with my Booktube besties, Erica and Autumn. I absolutely adore them. They're absolutely fabulous. And you need to check out their channels. I'll link them down below. Autumn and Erica are rocking it. I'm so proud of them. And I think it was Autumn's pick this month, and she picked When Ashes Fall by Marnie Mann. This was a new to me author. I never heard of this book until Autumn introduced it to us, and so I added it to my list. I was like, you know, let's give it a try, and I got the audiobook of it, and I gave this 4.5 stars. I'm just gonna tell you that. I really had low expectations when going into this book because when I read it, the synopsis read like a love triangle, and sometimes that can be a hit or miss. Like, you have to do a love triangle, right? This just completely knocked me out of what I expected. This story made me so emotional from the very beginning. There was just something about the heroine that I was just drawn in. It was the pain that she was in, the grief that she was dealing with. It just, for some reason, her story and her thoughts just captured me and had my attention. And it takes a lot for me to cry in a book. Like, I can think something sad, but it takes a lot for me to cry in a book. And I was sobbing reading this book because I just felt her pain. And anytime you're dealing with grief or heartbreak or trying to redo your life, of course that's a painful experience, but the way that she was dealing with it was just heartbreaking to read and hear. And then, you know, you just feel for that character, and it was just so good. Like, honestly, I still think about that book. It definitely left an impact on me, and I don't know why, because honestly, it's not like one of the most hard-hitting books. It really isn't, but sometimes those books, they just hit you, and this one really did. I enjoyed this. I'm so glad that Autumn suggested it. I will tell you, it follows our heroine as she is in her current day, she is a 911 dispatcher, and you kind of see her struggles with being that. You see her anxiety and stuff like that, and you'll learn as you go through, because it is kind of like a big mystery throughout the whole book, because it goes back and forth between past and present day. The past follows a guy named Dylan, who has just immediately fallen in love with her when he sees her, infatuated with her. You get their story from his perspective. You have our heroine, who you see her in present day and how she's living her life. And then you have the other guy, I cannot think of his name off the top of my head, and I hate that, who is also in present day, and how they meet and their story, and then how it all interconnects. And it was just so good, so heartbreaking. And I feel like if you're someone who struggles or, you know, is dealing with grief and you're needing to relate to something, I think this is a really good story to just make you feel. Like, this is a book that's going to make you feel something, whether you love it, you hate it, it's going to make you cry, it's going to make you feel better, it's going to make you feel something. And I really enjoyed that. I want to continue on and read more by Marnie Mann. I'm so thankful for Autumn for picking this book out because it was great. So, so good. And that's all the books that I read this month. Super small month for me, but I'm really hopeful for the month of May. I am wrapping up some books now that I was hoping to finish in April, but I'm just not going to get to it, and I'm not going to force myself to read something and give it a lower rating. I do one video a month where I read booktubers romance recommendations, and Autumn is my pick for the month of April, and that is not going to go up until May because I do not want to rush that video. I want to take my time because those are my favorite videos to film. I get to talk about some of my favorite booktubers. Autumn is a dear friend to me, and I really want to do good on her videos, so it is going to be coming sometime in May, as well as my May pick. I am doing Erica for May, And I'm so excited. I want to do her video right as well because I adore both of these ladies and they definitely deserve my time, attention, and effort into their videos. So I will definitely be doing those in the month of May, talking about those. So I'm sorry about the delay, but I'm ready for a new month. It's always a new beginning. So, but that's all I have for today, guys. Let me know what you read in the month of April. I would love to know. Bye.